Hey folks, welcome back. Hopefully all my audio balance stuff sounds okay. I checked it and I think it sounded okay. It might have been just a smidge quiet on the music. In fact, if it's quiet in my ears, it's probably really quiet in you guys. So there's a little more volume for you. We'll see if the battle music is too loud, but we're not going to see a battle for a while. So I did want to maybe go over a couple more turns before I start pausing the recordings. So first off, hey, our wife came back accompanied by a famous bard who totally does not have an unfortunate affair with the bard, but increasing public order for all my provinces. Where is that? Technologies, events. It says events -3. Well, I would have expected that to be under events as a positive. However, maybe there's some negative events that I don't know about. So maybe it's like, there was -8 for events and now there's -3 instead. Either way, that should have increased our relationship with Muscat, and it's actually positive at 15.
Welcome, friend. Welcome.
If we look, we'll see diplomatic missions to Muscat gave us a +8. Very nice. It doesn't look like I'll be able to get a non-aggression pact. However, that might just be enough for them to maybe leave me alone, and I'm okay with it. All right. One more turn until the nomad camps come up. They don't give you a whole lot of money at level 1, but that's okay. We'll live with that. We have 2 more turns of leeway before we need to start. 3 more turns now before we need to start recruiting more units, which means we can bank up some of this money. Gee, do I want to build a Eastern City Center to eventually get an Eastern market? I think I do. One of the things I've really learned is that banking your money up is nice if you have nothing to spend it on. But if you have something to spend on that can get you more profit, you always want to be using your money and swinging it into getting more profit. It's kind of a core tenet of almost any strategy game. Having a war chest is more valuable in this game than many other strategy games, but even so, you still gotta do those moves. So yeah, I think we give it a few more turns. Jeez, these political parties already like giving me a headache just thinking about having to deal with them and juggle them. Even on normal difficulty for that first campaign, I was really scraping by with the skin of my teeth. It may be the case that we, do end up rushing Frada instead of, going for Harmozia. What I did last time is I waited for Azagarda to leave the city, or rather, I'm trying to remember exactly how everything shaked out. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. So Frada actually breaks off. Zaranka actually breaks off from the Seleucids this time, meaning they're actually free for me to attack them. Now, maybe I leave Azagarda alone then because, they're stronger. And now Zaranka is like kind of ripe for the picking, right? Interesting. I cannot afford these grain pits. Sad. I really want them though because that's 200 wealth and how much? Plus 10% to agriculture I'm leaving on the table. I mean, that's another like 3 units that I can fund. So, again, what I'm finding for this faction so far is it's just better to build up wealth. So far, what I'm finding is build up wealth is more important in your long term than trying to get the units spat out. And this is, partially because we have the advantage of having 2 settlements. But I am thinking about them taxes. I mean, what, we're getting an extra of 400. Ugh. Well, let's think about it. So next turn, 2 turns from now, we will need to spend about 2 grand, 4 grand. So we need to be pulling in about 2 grand per turn, and we're not. And we need to be recruiting at the same time, so we will not be able to get both of these temples going. 3 turns from now, we will not be able to get this Eastern City Center. And come to think of it, I probably should have upgraded this settlement first before I built the temple down here, because they do provide some extra food as well. However, the profits that they provide here are pretty bad. Oh, I didn't realize this is where I get the recruitment for the Thorospheres and the reserve infantry. Interesting. Oh yeah, I do actually want reserve infantry. Shoot. Yeah, those guys were a very good and cheap part of my battle line before. I might go with the Persian levies as the first part of my battle line. Before it was the reserve infantry you get from leveling up Maurya to level 2, but I might very well go with the Persian levies this time. I mean, I don't need anything very good. The first line is there to die, and that's about it. They're there to die and tire the enemy out while they die. Nothing much I care to do this turn. The parties may hate me, but they are, I'm protected from civil war. There's nothing they can do about me making them angry. So who cares? We're protected for, what, 20 turns at the beginning, I think? And then I don't know. Here's the thing. If they want to declare civil war before I even have new provinces that they own, they can declare civil war all they want. What's going to happen is they are going to raise a one-man stack with just the general in it, and they may recruit all the mercenaries in the region, which are not much. It's one elephant, which is scary. You know, that's powerful. But yeah, there's not a whole lot for them to recruit or do anything, and as long as I send an army to crush them before they can recruit stuff, they're basically no threat. Ah, geez. So I wanted to actually move him out, didn't I? Because of the lack of supplies. So yeah, that means I don't want to scout out Frada just yet. So I'm gonna move. Yeah, we're still using those supplies. Make sure you're in patrol stance. Save all the cash you can. Actually, do I want to recruit more? Recruit 1. Yeesh. We'll actually forgo recruiting for 1 turn. This is the challenge. We gotta strike the balance between recruiting and not recruiting. And building up our economy. We want to keep the military working, keep the military growing, but we can't afford to spend all of our money on that. We got to put it into the economy. We have the settlements. We have to take advantage of the fact that we have those settlements. That's the only thing that makes us more powerful than, say, Zranka, than Frada. They have 1 settlement. We have 2. Technically, we should be able to make more income than them. Now, they're the AI, and this is hard, and AI cheats, so maybe that's not the case, but we'll see. Another thing we could do... Another thing we should do, in fact, let's go ahead and raise ourselves a fleet. In fact, you, Palaturba nobles, Basha. Let me have a conversation with you, Basha. Basha, you're going away. You're taking a trip in your favorite rocket ship. Strong long ships constructed to withstand the worst of the seas. These are long ships. Interesting. I haven't seen the Mauryan Navy at all. So since this admiral is by himself, he does not need a supply ship, and he essentially has unlimited supplies forever and ever. He can sail to the end of the world, and no one cares. And I'm just going to send him to go discover basically the Medui and the Ptolemies, and Maurya, I think, is over here. Is that what they're called? There's a few factions that I might be able to trade with, and they may not have strong opinions about me, so they may be willing to trade, and they may not have spices just yet. So maybe they'll be curious about those spices. We'll see what we can do with that. 256 supplies over here in Maurya right now. That's enough to sustain this army for quite some time. And now, do I want to upgrade the temples? Yes. Temples are pretty important just for the public order. You really want that public order in fast because you lose tax profits from people that are unhappy. They're not willing to pay your money. I believe we want Sri Devi, which the first level plus 5% wealth from all sources. I mean, it's really a pretty. I mean, wow, what a buff, what a perk. That's so good. As you can see, we're so broke. Oh, so broke. We recruit a man. We recruit a man. I recruit my man and I place him face down in defense position. We are actually... Jeez, can't build this. 2 turns, 2 turns. So once these come in, we will have significantly more profits. Additionally, with the grain pits, 6 turns on the temple. Let's just play it slow. And I think once I send this admiral out, that's when I'll start pausing and passing some time. I know I said that last video, but I lied. Pray I do not lie further. Lots of people doing their moves. I will never meet most of these factions. Oh, there they are. That's one of the factions I was looking for. I got this idea from seeing Azagarda do it. Looks like they're essentially doing the same thing. I don't know if the AI does this on purpose. It sure looks like it, doesn't it? They're not at war with anyone. All right, there's my Eastern City Center. Right. A little bit of extra wealth from that. It's welcome. Every penny. Every single penny. So I think this turn, again, we forego recruiting. Ooh. Azagarda's going to start getting ideas very soon. Very soon. I'm sure they want to attack me. I mean, it might even be worth it to try and trade or non-aggression pact, but I can't afford it, and they're not interested. But yeah, I want to spin this temple out over here as well as soon as I can. Every 5%, 10%, 15%, you know, we're creating money out of nothing just by getting bonuses. It's good stuff. Okay. All right. Well, let me make some progress here and I'll check in a minute. All right, folks, we're a little bit later. We're in winter, January 277 BC now. Not a whole lot has changed, but you may notice that we're making 2 grand now in winter, which is better than we were doing before, while we have, not a very sizable army, but we do have some people. We were also able to get ourselves a governor who's boosting the income around here. He has extra cultural conversion and tax rate with his ability, and looks like he just got Zeal, the guard dog, which raises the public order of the province, which is awesome news. Our harvest was pretty darn decent. I noticed that we have a lot more supply production during our harvest, which makes perfect sense to me. And I also noticed that Azagarda had a full stack. They created a full stack army, and it's gone. Who have they gone to attack? And I did notice I was wrong. First off, this isn't Maurya, this is Nabatea. And they are at war with Azagarda. So Azagarda actually sent that one ship down to go attack that one ship from Nabatea, and they lost. And then they sent it again, and they lost again and sank. I also sank our own admiral out there. I was kind of hoping he would get attacked and killed, because that party leader is horrible to us. But yeah, I discovered the Medui, and I discovered Ptolemais Theron. It looks like Medui hasn't actually expanded out at all yet, which is kind of shocking to me. Normally, you take them out in like turn 3 for Axum, and like Ptolemais Theron like turn 5 or 6. But they're not the player, I guess, so maybe they're just going to sit around and build up their stacks or something like that. Yeah, they weren't willing to trade with me, so that admiral kind of was a waste of money, if I'm being honest, which sucks, but it happens sometimes. So it do be like that sometimes. That's what they say. Not gonna bother investing in the level 3 temples yet. +3/+3 public order on both sides here is enough to start with, enough to get us started out. But we are going to start expanding the military. I did delete that one Persian spearman I got. I do want that reserve infantry. It's only 3 turns that I have to wait for those, and we're still going to be here in 3 turns. So we're going to start recruiting again. We're going to pick up a spy, though, because I do need to know what's going on. And when you are in these desert regions, you really have to move very intentionally. So if you look at the roads, I can't actually get up to Zaranka through this path because all of my men will die. So my options, as they stand, are to go west hit this road here. You know, Anger as a Garsha, move up through Bomb, and I think I would literally have to take Bomb, because I bet this region over here is desert or is lethal. It's quite likely. So that's unfortunate. And I don't have to make war on them. The other option is, of course, to take this road all the way north. This river crossing over here into this nice lush zone they have. Yeah, so that's a long way away. We have plenty of food to supply the army for quite some time. However, I'm going to start using Impera's supplies for a little bit. Am I not consuming this?
Ready for orders. Make haste, men.
There we go. Okay. So now I'm consuming this town's food. I'm just a little worried about building up the whole stack and then running out of food like 2 turns before we leave.
My lord.
So let's keep recruiting, right? We have 6 of these spearmen. We have 4 of these tribesmen. We need to start getting our javelins now. Let's set those up. I'm going to stick to maybe 2 units per turn for a while. We can always crank it to 3 if I want. Extra line of sight for a spy is okay. Whoops, I do not mean to click that. Interesting. Wow, that's a pretty great spy trait. Minus upkeep. You know, usually I go champion, but that's kind of good. I'm going for organized supply now, and then past that I'm going for logistics, which will give me champions, but only in 7 turns, so that spy might actually get some use. I do want those infantry tents. Not so much for the units, although eventually I will want these upgraded archers, these Mauryan longbowmen, which are quite good and even have a little bit of melee capability, but also just for the garrison units. That'll take this city up to 22 units in the garrison, and then you add on top an extra unit through the Eastern Market that we're getting here for our garrison. You can see 2 going to 3, and we'll have, what, 23 units in this garrison? Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty darn good. And eventually we'll have the pop surplus to pop another building of some kind over here, even more garrison. So yeah, I want my capital to just be not impregnable, because a 40 stack, you know, a full stack will still take it down, but close, right? I want them to have to commit a whole stack. I don't want them bopping in with whatever this guy is going to recruit and killing me. Make them put a little respect on my name. Oh, also, Zaranka, the owners of Frada over there, have actually formed an alliance with, I'm trying to see them on the map. They're over here somewhere to the northeast. Haravadis? I know I'm butchering the pronunciation, but I can't even see how they're spelled right now. Not that it would help. Geez, I still remember back when I made one of those trailers for the Vidya Impera guys, and I pronounced Pergamon like Pergamon. God, people are so salty about that. But how do you do an AU in that language? What does their AU do? What it do? What the dog doing? Okay. Did I ever recruit that spy? No. Jeez. I blame it on being tired. Usually I spend this time that I've been recording today on kind of detoxing after work, but that has not happened. Also, I should just garrison. If I'm going to use the supplies here, I might as well garrison and get the extra public order and get the reduced upkeep, all that good stuff. And I think I can crank it up to recruiting 3 units per turn now. 2 more turns and we can start getting our reserve infantry, which will be good. We get all the cheapest units first. Allows us to build our army as cheaply as we can, but still get a nice full stack. Our Eastern Market comes in next turn, even more income, and then even more income through our Eastern Village and some additional food, which, as you can see, we desperately need. The recruitment certainly isn't helping, but I am certainly deeply concerned about, and 2 enemy armies popping up and standing on my territory in my face and, eating all my food. Could totally happen. It has happened. It was a sad time. One of the nice differences so far in this campaign is that Muscat is not attacking me. Normally they would have sent a stack over already, and I would have had to kill that stack. But because of the diplomacy we did, and keep in mind we did spend money for that diplomacy that I could have put into the military or the economy. Well, I didn't have to do that. I was able to slow down and focus on the economy instead because they didn't attack me. Good stuff. Our governor ranks up. We're going to want to well, how much agricultural income are we really having here? I mean, yeah, these two are agriculture. This is agriculture. This is agriculture. There's a lot of agriculture. This will eventually, I'll build this fishing port too. We're going to want food. Food is going to be a big deal for a while. So let's go into money from agriculture, and then I think we'll go into the blue tree for all the nice tax bonuses that you can get. We've discovered Atropatkin. I doubt I can do anything with them. Again, no one wants to trade with me. No one wants these spices. Everyone around here they've already got one. We told him we've already got one. All right. These dudes cost 810 and cost 118 per turn.
It is a great.
I'm gonna go back down to recruiting 2 per turn for a little bit. Trust me, there's a method to the madness. Don't trust me, I'm lying. I have no idea what I'm doing. Do I want to build another building? What do I want to put here? I could put a warhorse stable, but that actually reduces my regional income. It says it requires the warhorse resource, but I thought I could build it. No, it was grayed out, but it didn't have the little tech icon. So yeah, I don't have warhorses. Yeah, of course not. And I couldn't build any of this other stuff. Everything else I think was locked off by tech. The Eastern Wrestling Arena was not, but it also reduces your income. I would rather upgrade a temple than do that. So what else could I do? I can't see unless I, start building something. I don't have access to champions for another 5 turns. Well, let's see what's available. Oh yeah, we can do the spice route. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. 1,400 wealth eventually. Okay. Although, wait. Local commerce, and this is agriculture. Ooh. Okay, so I probably end up going down this tree, which has agriculture, which then gets boosted by all of the other stuff that I'm building. Yeah, this is pretty good. In fact, I want to get this to level 2 as soon as I can so that it starts being agriculture. You notice at the beginning it's local commerce. I don't have many buffs to local commerce, but I do have some for farming and agriculture. Although it's worth pointing out that the temples here are, wealth from all sources. So perhaps with the temples, it could be better to get the 1,400 wealth. There's some math here. I'm not going to do all of the math. I picked a strat, and we're going with that strat. We'll burn another turn. Hopefully this isn't too boring for you guys. I know we're just kind of sitting around on the campaign map, hanging out. Let me know in the comments if we need to pick it up a little bit. I'll try to upload these. Usually I do like a long delay between uploads and recordings because it kind of gives me more time. If I don't record for 3 weeks, but I have like 20 videos to upload, then you guys don't see a gap, right? And I like that. I'll set up like a month of uploads all at once, coming out every day. When you see very consistent content from me every day, that's probably what I'm doing. But the first few episodes of a series, I really like to just upload as they come, because I like the feedback from you guys. So if this is moving too slow for y'all, let me know. So Haravedis goes to war with the Seleucids, joins the war with Frada. Okay. So what do they have? I'm going to quick save it. What do they have? Okay, they have a few allied swordsmen of their own. Really? They have access to those? I guess these guys are an Indian faction as well. Okay. So that's horrifying. They have better elephants than I do. They have a really decent Persian cavalry. They have a couple of these tribal dudes. They have some axemen, which, You know, those are really good, but they're really, really, really weak to arrows, and we have a pretty nice missile focus on our army. They have 13 units in the military. Now, we need to start gunning for them soon, then. Yeah, before they can build to critical mass. I'm not sure if they're going to build all the way to a 40 stack. So, I mean, they only have one settlement, so they got to be recruiting, what, 1 or 2 per turn? Let's assume 2, right? So let's assume next turn they're at 15, 10 turns to reach 20 more units to reach 33 units, which would be, at that point, like a very difficult battle with their garrison. So how many turns did it take me? So 1, say 2, say 3, say 4, say 5. So by the time I get there, maybe we're looking at like 25, 26 units, something like that. I don't know. I'm just ballparking it. That seems doable. That seems doable. I think we can win that. Okay. Gotta kind of get this right timing-wise. I may have to sit on the border for 1 turn, recruiting a few swordsmen. Yikes, this is kind of... I don't know. This feels risky, but they're building. You know, now if they're only recruiting 1 unit per turn, I will be very happy. So we'll keep an eye on that total. They're at 13 right now. That make absolutely sure we get these longbowmen. They're very crucial for us. Next turn we need at least 2,400 to recruit 3 swordsmen. Those are going to be critical to winning that as well. Those are our hardcore units. So what we're going to do is kind of what I like to do, and actually what I can't do, unfortunately, because I won't have time to recruit everything I need to recruit. What I like to do is do a triple line. Reserve on the front. I put the reserves on the front, kind of like Hastati. I use these spearmen on the back, like really crappy Principe, and then the last line are the actual, you know, real professional units, the swordsmen. And so far, that's run really well for me. But we'll see if we can get away with that this time. Another turn bites the dust. I'm really, really curious to see how many they're recruiting per turn. If they're recruiting 3 per turn and they're going all the way up to a 40 stack, which even like 1 settlement apparently can afford a 40 stack, which seems like cheating to me. It really does seem like cheating to me. There's no way they can afford that. Realistically, if I can't afford it, they can't afford it. But that's the way the news goes. Okay. They stay at 13. Ooh. Ooh, they stay at 13. That is what I like to see.
Advance.
Okay. Let's start getting close to the border.
Make haste, men.
Oh. We have 5 longbows. Let's get 1 more. Do I just get some reserves instead? Ah, they're so wimpy, though. They're so wimpy. They're not good, but they're really cheap. They cost 74 a pop. These cost 128. And they are, well, they're worth it, right? They're much better. Well... And these cost my second-class citizens, too. Let's try to get away without using our better swordsman units. 2 more turns, and we'll have another 180 wealth coming in per turn. We're only protected from civil war for the next 5 turns. We are now in May. I can't bring in enough with high taxes to justify high taxes right now.
Ready for battle.
So I think... Next turn, we move right up to the border. We recruit another 3 reserves. That levels us out with 11 infantry, 4 flankers, 6 archers, 6 javelins, elephant, commander unit that won't be used too much. I guess I'll integrate them as part of the reserve line. Have the spearmen at the front. They have really big shields, so they're going to be good for absorbing missile fire, which the enemy really has a severe deficiency in missiles, which is going to be hopefully their Achilles heel. They have elephants. The cavalry is probably the biggest concern in their army because it's very high quality. I need to look at what kind of cavalry it is because that matters a lot. If it's shock cavalry with very low defense, which is typical for shock cavalry, then they're going to get caught on my spears and die. However, this is actually elite heavy missile cav, which is my worst nightmare because you can't shoot them too well and you can't pin them down in melee too well. They're going to want to skirmish a little more. And I think as this kind of unit, they have more even attack and defense, which means if they get caught in melee, even against the spear, they're going to do a little bit better. And they're elite, so against a really, really weak spearman. But these have plus 10 bonus versus cavalry. I mean, elite or not, they're going to take heavy casualties if they stay in combat against my spears. So, yeah, I feel okay about that, actually.
Are you ready to serve?
So they recruited the elephants. My elephants. Last campaign, I recruited those. Sad. Sad moments. Okay. 2 more turns until tents are done. Looks like next turn I should be able to afford spice importer. And then like turn after that, maybe I'll be able to afford the tents. If not, 1 more turn. That's pretty good. Pretty good timing. Our efficiency isn't perfect here, but it's good enough for the most part. And we've juggled our supplies well enough to where our supplies are not like negatively impacting growth, which is something that happened to me in the first campaign I tried out. So yeah, my people were like very upset and not growing because I ate all of the food in Impera because I wasn't aware that it had low fertility. And another turn. Looks like our first like actual battle ends up being like video 3. Makes me wonder if I should just like upload all 3 of the first videos at once. But the YouTube algorithm hates that. I tried to do that. I used to do that. I would like shotgun blast like 5 at once, but literally I would get 0 views on anything except the first one that I uploaded, because basically anyone that's like seeing my videos and like say they're recommended or whatever, or you know, people you watch type areas in YouTube, it only shows you
We fight for you, my
the one of them. Doesn't show you all 5, of course. Starvation. This region does not offer enough food to forage during summer. This leads to starvation for unprepared armies. I hate you, game. That's right, I did have a baggage train on my last campaign. Can I raid to fix that? Like in Warhammer, can I raid to get food?
Make haste, men.
So I need 50% movement. So let's just pretend that this works for a second. I'll reload if it doesn't.
At once.
No, it does not work. Okay. Let's reload the autosave. 1 sec. All right. Yeah, that's my bad.
Ready for battle.
That one is my fault. I forgot about the mechanic completely. It happens. All right. Let's make sure everyone's still doing their jobs. Okay. You gotta watch these governors. They'll stop working sometimes for no reason. Okay. This time the game will not hate me. That one is my bad. I forgot. Yeah, desert regions, arid regions, super cold regions. You don't have a baggage train. It's the wrong season. You will eat the consequences. And I like this about the multi-turn per year mod, the 12 turn per year sub mod for DEI, because it just it adds a lot to these situations, to these seasons where, you know, you can survive one turn with starvation, but can you survive 3? So whereas you get more profit, say, from having multiple turns of autumn, you gain less profit from multiple turns of winter. So it balances out in an interesting way, I think.
Oh, my lord.
Look at how much movement we lose from the baggage train. This army was so quick. And now it's so slow, even in the summer. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So they are now building. They have 17. Let me guess. They can recruit 3 per turn, even though they have 1 settlement. That's what I'm guessing right now. Is the game going to BS me? Probably. I cannot afford that. That costs $4,000. And we're also poor.
We fight for you.
Well, they can't reach me, so I'm going to patrol the region for them. Here you go, guys. Does that actually improve their own public... Okay. I was going to wonder if it was going to improve their public order by patrolling their land for them as a non-friendly army. So our spy here should give us 3% movement, which, you know, it's something. It also trains up the spy. So that's why I moved him to the general, hoping that helps a little. I think I'd like to set up this battle, and then I can do the battle in the next episode. And it's looking like, based on their position, it's going to be an attack on their city with their army as a reinforcing army, which is bleh. And even worse, I bet you anything they're going to sally out and do a field battle, which is double bleh. There's logistics research for $4 grand in our bank. Let's go ahead and get those tents. Can't afford the spices anyways. It's not exactly pressing. We need to pick a new tech. I'm thinking cultural conversion is going to be really important for this faction. Getting this +2 at the beginning is going to be nice. The public order isn't so much an issue. If I look, I mean, we've got 48% Persian. We're not even, I mean, we're not majority Hindi yet. But as far as, you know, what that's doing to public order, only -5. It's not terrible. Still, I think it'll help. Let's go ahead and get -5 construction and +5 tax rate. I like that. Oh, right. It's a level where you get 3 points. Okay. Do I want to start going down the red tree as well? Yeah, I really like the public order and research in Paragon and the -empire maintenance. Trading out for public order is absolutely worth it for empire maintenance. The later you get, the better. All right, you can get me more map movement range for my general. That's awesome. Sure, you can have some more cunning. Geez, so it's going to be another 3 turns before we reach that, and we're already at almost 40 minutes into the video. Okay. All right, I do concede that I will have to save the game. Let's not forget to do that. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll go ahead and get this battle set up off camera, and I'll see you for the fight. Later, folks.